Oh, I'm here. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Uh, I see Sandy's was the first one in the chat today. Tanya, nice to see you there. Sandy's number one. Tanya's number two. Uh, you may have noticed, maybe you haven't noticed yet, there are no commercials playing during this live. Yeah, I turned off the ads during the live part. So if you're watching this in replay, you will be getting ads. But I don't, I'm not under as much pressure to generate revenue using YouTube now, since uh, around midnight on January 1st, I received my Social Security payment. Yay. It was kind of funny too, because if you remember during my last live, I guess that was 2 weeks ago, um, I did a live reading where I said, is there going to be any problems? I don't know because I've been out of the system so long, living abroad for so long, not having filed a tax return in so long. Could there possibly be something that's going to prevent me from getting my my money, right? And if you remember, the outcome was the Nine of Swords. I'm like, yep, okay, no problem. I'm definitely going to get the money. Uh, and then after I signed off, I was still talking to Cherie, and I thought, I wonder how long it's going to take to get it. So with Cherie, I did a reading, and the outcome was the Chariot. I'm like, oh, it's going to be just like a rocket, like a chariot being drawn by wild horses. So it's going to come a lot faster. And then I'm still curious, like, okay, well, how long is faster going to be? So I started looking at all the people on Reddit who've talked about it, and for them it was like 5 or 6 weeks, or 2 months. It was like a long time, and so I'm thinking with the chariot, okay, well then that means really if I get it within by next month, that will be fast. But oh no, that chariot was much faster. And actually, Cherie was more convinced that it was going to come faster than I was. I was ready for the long haul. So uh, that's a really good thing. I immediately made an appointment to get my new dentures for my upper that I've been needing for a long time. Hey, what happened to my camera? My above camera. It got turned off. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to fix that. Give me a minute. Turned off for some reason. Okay. Ah, it's back on. Okay. All right. All right. So where was I? Oh yeah. So gonna get the uppers done. I got paid for 2 months. I owe some people some money, so I got to pay that back as well. My sister, and Cherie. And one second, trying to adjust this so I can read the chat and keep an eye on what's going on. What happened? There it is. There's the chat. Okay, before I get into the topic, just want to talk a little bit about myself um, and my attempts to like rejoin the the community, so to speak. Because for a long time I have been really much living like a hermit, isolated. I mean, other than talking to you guys here, and sometimes when I have my clients come, it's kind of like if you've been a client of mine, then you kind of have to put up with me, talking about other random things in my life because I take advantage of it when I have a person in front of me that I can have a conversation with. So some people are like, oh, sorry, Scott, let's stay to business. Okay. Anyways, so you guys know I've joined this gaming group, and that's going really well. That's good because we all have this thing in common, and we don't have to talk about politics and what's going on in our lives, and like, you know, don't have to bring the heavy stuff into it. It's just fun to hang out with guys who are around my same age and are into the things I like. And but I've been thinking for a long time that locally, that's in Bangkok. It's an hour away. It's not easy to get to. It's not like I can go hang out there, you know, in 10 minutes. And I've been thinking about trying to organize or get some local people from around here who are foreigners, expats as we're called. I don't like the term. I don't consider myself an expat. Usually expats to me are people who retired with a lot of money and they just transplanted their Western lifestyle into Thailand. They don't learn to speak Thai. They still live like the same lifestyle they lived when they were in America or the UK or Canada or whatever. Um, I don't really fit into that crowd. Um, but on my Facebook feed, I came across a local group of expats, and I've noticed in the past 10 years, it's like all the foreigners have left here, and like I told you guys one time I went to the one club that I go to where there's a live band. They play, you know, rock and roll, blues, and music from the 70s and 80s. And it used to be full of foreigners. Now I'm the only one there. Anyhow, I got on this group and not really expecting much to happen. And one guy from Canada named Troy hopped on, and he kind of um, put momentum on it. He started getting people like, hey, let's all meet at the mall. He said, like, there's going to be like 8 or 9 people, and then they have their spouses, so there could end up being um, 20 people there. And I spoke with him on the phone for a little bit, and he's like I said, he's not like us, okay? And the things he talked about, I've found myself just sitting there going, like, this is all very boring, and I don't want to listen to him talk about his family life. And then I went and I looked at his Facebook page, and of course he's a Canadian and he's an anti-Trumper, and I'm thinking, do I really want to be friends with people like that? Oh gosh, I'm just seeing this video feed of me fixing my computer and put my face in the phone. Oh, Scott. Anyhow, So I'm really rethinking this whole thing about meeting with, and I don't like big crowds. Like it was just going to be me and him and maybe one or two other people, and now it's a whole bunch of people. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna ghost the whole group. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to talk about myself a little bit. Yeah. And I was talking to Cherie, and Cherie was like, "Oh, good for you. You're making friends, and you know, it's the one of the leading motivators of a human being is to be accepted by their peers. You've heard that before, right? It's like one of the most fundamental drives is to be included in groups. And I knew from a long, long time ago. Sharia, are you on? No, no, she's not. Okay, I guess she fell asleep waiting for me. But and so Sharia's like, yeah, I'm happy for you. But I knew early on when before I was even hit puberty that I just didn't fit in with the groups. And I decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to base my happiness on acceptance by people. And and I know that it's a fundamental part of being a human is to have friends and be accepted in communities and things like that. But I just rejected that idea. I'm like, no, I am not going to allow my happiness to be based on what other people think about me. I I look around and I don't want to be a part of these groups. I don't want to be like those people. So the fact that they're rejecting me is a good thing, you know? Um, so so yeah, I like the gamers, okay, that's different. Like I said, we got something in common and it's really a fun thing to do. I'm really looking forward to Friday night and going to do another game. And so yeah, I know no man is an island. I know they say that, but I think I okay. And then there's the fact that recently I've got all of you, who are people who you're the type of people that if we were all in a room together, I could hang out with and feel myself, be myself. And I've got that validation from the fact that you guys, you know, are here listening to me. Um, that I don't need to be accepted by the greater group. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about. Now let's get to my topic today. So you guys heard about this tragedy in Switzerland, and I posted some pictures on my Telegram channel. I'm going to go to those real quick. It's nothing graphic, nothing gory, but I want to talk about, was it truly an accident, right? Okay, let me share. Okay, so here's a couple of pictures from the event, the tragedy. What's going on here? I can make it big again. Wait, can do this. Okay. So this is how they say it started. Okay. First off, these were kids that were at this party. 16, 17, 18 years old. And I know things are different in Europe. People are given more freedoms and kids are allowed to drink earlier, but what the hell are you doing letting your 16-year-old go to something like this, right? And then how do they are young people this stupid today that they don't understand that open flames and flammable materials don't go together. So you see this stuff, this is soundproofing, and it's that very soft, cushiony foam. It's very porous, so like any spark gets onto it. It's like gasoline. It's like solidified gasoline. And then in some of the other pictures that I saw, or actually video, it was it was melting. This stuff was melting and raining down onto people and starting new fires. All right. So it's like even there it's you see this how small this place was, okay? And it was downstairs. It's like there's a small upstairs area with terrace seating. It's cold, so they got glass walls around it. And then this small little area right down. Even if you weren't worried about fire, just the smoke from these sparklers would have been unbearable. Like, have you, when you were a kid and you played with sparklers, did you ever light a sparkler in the house? Of course not. So I mean, what are they thinking, right? And then this picture is really strange. So not only do they have the sparklers on their bottles, but then they're getting on people's shoulders and they're holding them right up to that flammable material. Okay. So, but this got me thinking about satanic ritual sacrifices that are usually connected with dates. And we know that they used to do this, or we know that the cabal would do these things. 9/11 was one. Um, the the earthquake that sent the tsunami to into Fukushima was 3/11. The attack on London was 7/7 2005, which is another seven, so 777, which is actually a number of God, so it's an inversion. It's attacking that number. Right. So we believe that they were doing these things, but I noticed around 2020, maybe before that, that they hadn't been doing these anymore. And I even went to Chat GPT when I was preparing for this, and I asked it because it doesn't want to acknowledge these things. So I said, let's do a hypothetical if the conspiracy theories are true, and let's look at it like it's a real thing. I got my notes here. Let me see if I can pull them up. All right. This isn't long. I'm not reading. This is my notes. So the frame. Okay, so for decades it felt like there was a pattern. Big events on clear dates, sharp psychological impact, history moved in punctuated marks, okay, like on these. Then around 2020, the pattern seems to change. Instead of long grinding crises, instead of these punctuated marks on certain days, there's the pandemic, inflation, threats of world war, no clear start, no clear ending. Um, this was meant to be the coup de grace, actually, right? Starting with the pandemic that they were hoping would take out. millions or billions of people, and then ending with a world war that would take out the rest and bring in the new world order. That was their dark agenda, the dark timeline. But that's also when the good guys started to fight back. Okay, and then after that, the old patterns weaken. Tragedies still happen, fires happen, accidents happen, but the tight link between mass casualties and symbolic dates fades. Now, one of the things that I asked Chat GPT is like, is this a pattern that everybody's noticing? And is like, yes, everybody has said this same thing. Been, like all of us conspiracy theorists. So it doesn't look like an escalation, it looks like a decapitation. Ritual requires confidence, symbolism requires coordination. A fractured system doesn't leave signatures, it doesn't repeat dates, it doesn't announce itself. So the silence isn't accidental, it's diagnostic. What we see now is crisis without ceremony, power without ritual. The head's been cut off the beast. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get to the point of this video, which is I'm going to pull cards on this event in Switzerland that happened New Year's Eve. And now, if I'm right, and if so many others who echo um, what I've been saying are right, that we've gotten past the worst of it. What we're seeing now and what happened in Venezuela is a good example of. Okay. Um, that the white hats are in control. They're taking out these major players right now. And not, by the way, this is the body of the beast. The head of the beast has been taken off. Now we're going after the body, which is people like Maduro, right? So what I'm expecting to see from the cards here is that this was children being foolish, and it was a tragedy, and parents being irresponsible, letting their children that. Shame on them. I'm sorry. I'm not a parent, and maybe I don't have the right to say that, but when I was growing up, 10 o'clock, if the TV would come on and say, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?" They, guess they don't do that anymore, huh? Okay. You guys with me? Let me give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready for this. If you're ready for me to stop rambling. Uh, I'm trying to I always get this. See, on my Zoom camera, it looks fine. The cards are over there, or I should say over there. That's the problem. Let me fix that real quick. Mirror. Could change the mirror my video. Okay, good. Now it's mirrored. I don't have Cherie here to help me out as usual. Okay, get back to this screen. All right, Lacey Blue's ready. Susan Chamberlain gave me a thumbs up. You guys can see the cards here, okay? I'm gonna give them a couple more shuffles because this is an important one to me. Should be important to all of us that we don't have to like maybe worry about going out on certain dates because something could happen, or just that those evil powers are not in control. It's a sign that they're not in control. And while I'm doing this, can you guys think of any of these ritualistic dates where there've been disasters in since 2020 in the past 5 years? So I can't think of any. And this one too. This was New Year's Eve. That's not really a one of their numbers. Numerologically, it's not important. It's it's not a spiritual thing. Okay, so let's get to it. Cards are shuffled. Get this back up to date. Yeah, so this is gonna. I expect this to be an accident, and the card's gonna say it's an accident. If I'm wrong, then we got to rethink maybe the whole situation that the world is in right now. Okay, so the first card is going to represent the collective. Okay, Page of Wands. We're all making plans to enter into a new era, a new era of spirituality, where we're following our spiritual passion, and we're looking at things through the lens of more spiritual ways of doing things. Okay, a spiritual awakening. Right, and this will be the event itself. Strength, past. This is what's unknown to us, or a challenge, and here's the outcome. All right, so I can tell you that this was definitely children who let something get out of who let a powerful element out of their control. Okay, so and this is children as well. So these were children being left to their own devices, and then the strength. What immediately struck me was this lion. It's kind of an orange red color. It looks like fire, and it's very difficult to control. And and that was children playing with fire. Now, last I heard, 40 of them perished in that fire. And what happens when children perish? Well, they get a special place in heaven. Okay, uh, and their suffering is ended. They're they're safe now. And then for those who are injured, they're in this limbo stage. They're in some of them I heard had third degree and fourth degree burns, which is that's when you burned all the way through the fat and to the muscle, to the bone. Okay. So the ones that are recovering, they're going to be in recovery for a long time. And then with this Nine of Wands, there's going to be a long reflection from this. And there's going to be people hugging their children who made it out safely closer than they ever have. And there's going to be lessons learned from this. This is the worst, and I think the first time Switzerland has ever had such a horrific loss of life like this. This was not a satanic ritual sacrifice, okay, which gives me a bit of relief. This card in the background tells me that we are on stable footing now. Humans are back in control of our narrative. There's no more of those things that are taking place. Oh, did I missed your question, Susan? I didn't hear about the story. What happened to the? Oh, okay. Yeah, many of you don't watch the news. Um, so yeah, there are these young teenagers were celebrating New Year's Eve in this small club, and they set off sparklers. By the way, children with fire, wands are fire, children playing with fire. Get the cards here to see if there's anything else I can get from it. But the main question here was this an event that was meant to be a sacrifice of souls to Satan? And no, it wasn't. Okay. Uh, I don't think that they're going to be pulling these big events on dates like that anymore. 9/11, 3/11, 7/7/7. I think those days are over. If it happens, it'll probably be more of a coincidence. Okay. Hi everyone. I've been good. Oh, Anna, you if you join my Telegram channel, then I always post it there. I post links to it there. So let me drop you a, link to my Telegram real quick. Where is it? Okay, here's the invite link. Pop this in real quick. Yeah, please join my Telegram. I'm not real active there. You're not going to see a whole lot there, but you'll get notifications and pictures of my pets and things like that. Yeah, you're right, Tanya. Um, and that's exactly why these children should not have been left on their own. Okay, they are unsupervised, and to I don't know. The whole thing just escapes me. It was a terrible tragedy. It was awful, but it wasn't a satanic ritual, and that's all I came here to know. Now I'm done with that business. I'd like to know, does anybody have any questions for me for the cards before I go? And I will not be doing a members only today because I need to get to the bank. Uh, I got had my sister money grant me some money from my Social Security, and I got to get that in the bank and cover some bills, and I'm going to be just fine. Yeah, Tanya. They say that the brain hasn't even stopped developing until like 25. I think for women it's like 22, 23. For men it's like 25. For me, I don't think it's quite happened yet. That's Tanya says I should buy silver. Tanya, I can't find silver in Thailand. Not in bulk rate. I can buy jewelry, like this ring, but I can't. They don't sell coins. They don't sell bars, or at least I haven't been able to find any yet. Somebody sent me an ounce of silver as a payment a couple years ago, which I guess has gone up in value. Well, I mean, I don't do so many dumb things anymore. I just think I don't think like I don't. For example, I didn't plan for my retirement. Everybody telling me how stupid I was for not saving money and not planning for my retirement. But I'm going to be just fine, without having done that. Will China take over Thailand? Like lots of people think, oh no, no, no. There's no talk about that. Thailand is one of the few countries in the world that was never colonized. Well, technically, when Japan came here in World War II, Thailand didn't fight. They just cooperated. They technically were neutral, but really they let Japan come in and do whatever they wanted. But they kept their monarchy, they kept their government, and they were never conquered. the The French came here. The French tried to do it first. They fought off the French successfully. The British were colonizing the area, but they didn't um, take time. What happened was Britain and France were taking countries around. Like I believe Britain had which is uh, Myanmar, which is now I can't remember the other name of it. Anyways, and then France had Vietnam and Cambodia, and they left Thailand as like a buffer. That's what it was supposed to be, like a buffer. Um, I think Southeast Asia might be part of a conglomerate to include Australia, perhaps. Well, yeah. Anyways, China China is invested in Thailand, but no, there hasn't Burma. Thank you. They call it Burma now, but still a lot of people call it Myanmar or Burma today. Anyways, no, China's not. And in fact, this brings up a point. Okay, the idea of China taking over, the idea that China, Russia, and the United States are three superpowers that are vying for power against each other is incorrect, in my opinion. Um, Putin, Xi, and Trump are actually working together against the cabal. Okay, that's what I think. Um, and so the idea that you know all this like they say, oh, China and Russia were involved in Venezuela, and that's the reason why why Trump is taking that over to kick them out of the country. Well, kind of yes, but it's like Russia, you take care of your part of the world, China, you take care of your part of the world, and America will take care of its part of the world. Check my time here. I don't want to go too late. I want to get to the bank before lunch. So, and as far as like the war that was going on between Thailand and Cambodia, had nothing to do with these two minor states having an argument. I believe that Cambodia was a hotbed for the body of the beast still flopping around. They still had maybe some um, things going on there that were dark on the dark side that needed to be flushed out. And I think that the White Hats used Thailand's military to do that. I don't think that it had anything to do with the disputed land of the temples that were there and things like that. Um, I saw some. The first time I went into Cambodia, just went there to make a visa run, so I didn't even stay the night. But I don't even want to repeat what I heard there that was going on with children. Okay, that was a long time ago, and I know that there have been a lot of groups going in there to clean up that stuff, but who knows what was going on underground. When will countries stop promoting jabs? I'm not sure that countries are promoting jabs. From what I can tell, it's pretty much mainstream now. Everybody knows it was a bad thing. Um, Anytime I see something come up on Facebook where it's like a mainstream thing where they're promoting it, you look at the comments, almost everybody is like, you know, no, I'm never gonna get it. I didn't get it. I'm glad I didn't get it. So I think people are aware of it. Um, I think the pharmaceutical companies are still trying to push it. They say this flu in America now is like the worst flu season ever. Well, could have told you that was going to happen from all the people who did get it. Okay, that's about all. I just wanted to do that one thing. Um, uh, yeah, and that's about all I got. Got 10 minutes till 10. Sorry, Sharid wasn't here. Is there problems in Germany? So all I'm just going to sum this up. All of these individual problems where you see countries, it's all going to be worked out soon. What you see now, what's happening in Venezuela, this is going to go on one by one all over the world until we get all the criminals out. That's just what I think is going to happen. Okay, so don't get caught up in these little dramas that are going on that are like, especially the ones that are being put out on mainstream media and in the news and stuff like that. That's just the surface stuff. That's not what's really going on. And a lot of these things, like the promotion of the vaccines and all of this, we're still in this process of getting people to wake up, and the only way to do it is by putting it out there. All right, that's all. Thanks you guys for being here, and and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.